Welcome to Neo Royal House of Pressy Cardboard. On today's episode of Commander Gameplay, we are joined by the Master Brewer Fitz and my good friend Maxime. Before we get started, I would like to thank our amazing Patreons for supporting the show and remind you that the goal of 20 Patreons is still active. Upon completion, I will be uploading an additional video each month. Fitz brought to the table his Nicol Bolas the Ravager deck. This is a team deck around the Dragon God, but don't let it fool you. Fitz is able to get some very good decks going while maintaining a team. This grixis list will be looking to control the board until his value engine can take care of our life points. Maxime will be playing Ezuri Renegade Leader. This is your pretty typical elfball list, looking to get out a lot of creatures in the early game and take out the table with trample damage from Ezuri. The deck is very tuned, running all the powerful cards like Gaia's Cradle and Mono Green Tutors. Kelly will be playing Ghoulcaller Gisa. This is a mono-black aggro deck looking to flood the board with zombies and swing them away to victory. While the list may not be as fast as elfball, the card quality in the deck is very high with all the mono-black cards you could expect. Finally, I will be playing Tayam Luminous Enigma. This is one of my newest decks and is the spiritual successor to my Attribution list. I'm running a lot of 2 and 3 CMC permanents that cares about counters. +1/+1s for me, -1/-1s for my opponents, and even some infect here and there. Fitz's opening hand contains Mirage Mirror, Deliver into Evil, Talisman of Indulgence, Emergent Zone, Drowned Catacomb, Dragon's Skull Summit, and a Crypt of the Eternals. Max's opening hand contains Elvish Reclaimer, Well-Wisher, Wood Elves, Worldly Tutor, Sylvan Offering, Nature's Claim, and a single basic forest. Kelly's opening hand contains Lord of the Accursed, Mikaeus the Unhallowed, Erebos Bleak-Hearted, Reanimate, Carrick Son of Yawgmoth, Heraldic Banner, and like Maxime, a single basic swamp.
Phil's gonna be like, why did she keep those one-landers?
My opening hand contains Oath of Ajani, Eternal Witness, Soul Snuffers, Devoted Druid, Gavony Township, Oran Reef the Vastwood, and a basic swamp. Fitz gets to start this party of greedy keeps, and land drops a Dragon's Skull Summit. I land drop Oran Reef the Vastwood.
You guys have tapped land against elfball playing. That's interesting.
I mean, that's turn 1, calm down. Max land drops a forest and casts Elvish Reclaimer. Kelly land drops a swamp and pass. Fitz land drops Shivan Reef. He then casts Talisman of Indulgence. I land drop a swamp and cast a Soul Ring, followed by Growing Rites of Itlamok. Entering the battlefield, I look at my top 4 and can't find a creature, sadly. Max land drops Deserted Temple. He then casts Well-Wisher. Going to combat, the Reclaimer attacks Kelly.
Okay, everyone else has rammed. Rude. This means war!
I pass.
Okay.
I mean, it was war against Maxime since we shuffled, but sure. Kelly land drops a swamp and pass. Fitz land drops Crypt of the Eternals, gaining a life. He then casts his commander, Nicol Bolas the Ravager.
I am the God Pharaoh. I am Nicol Bolas.
Entering the battlefield, each opponent must discard a card. We discard Oath of Ajani, Argothian Elder, and Carrick Son of Yawgmoth. I land drop Gavony Township and cast Devoted Druid. Max land drops a forest and casts a Wood Elves. Entering the battlefield, he gets a forest from his deck on the battlefield. Don't have dual lands in your monocolor deck? No way.
Trash.
Heading into combat, Elvish Reclaimer attacks me and I block with Devoted Druid. Kelly casts Reanimate, targeting Carrick. Alright.
Well, this is nice because Fitz made me discard because I would have had to not land drop my turn and then wait.
Your plan got better with Bolas.
Yes.
Fitz land drops Drowned Catacombs and casts Mirage Mirror. I tell everyone how great of a card that is, and he goes to combat, sending Bolas to Max.
Where's your Chaos Sphere, Philip?
I don't play red. On my turn, still without white mana, I cast Contagion Engine. Entering the battlefield, I target Max with the -1/-1s. Max reacts by tapping Well-Wisher to gain 4 life. At my end step, Max casts Worldly Tutor. He puts Beast Whisperer on top of his library. He then draws it for turn and casts it on his main phase. Kelly casts Liliana of the Dark Realms, paying the black pips with Kirik. Kirik also gets a +1/+1 counter as a black spell got cast. Fitz land drops Training Center.
Look at him hitting his land drops like the mad lad he is.
Yeah, crazy people.
He heads his combat, sending Bolas to Liliana. In second main, Fitz casts God Pharaoh's statue, bringing the whole table in a united oh no. At the end step, the statue triggers and we lose 1 life. I land drop Murmuring Bosk, finally a white source. With not much else to do, I activate the Contagion engine, getting rid of the Reclaimer before Max can get his Gaia's Cradle. I also buff Kirik because Kelly is having a rough time.
I mean, you're pretty behind. Sure.
Oh.
Max casts Nature's Claim to destroy the God's Pharaoh statue. For his combat step, he sends Beast Whisperer to Fitz. Kelly land drops a Swamp and casts Heraldic Banner naming Black, getting 2 whole new source of mana in the same turn. Ending into combat, she attacks Fitz with Kirik.
Feeling pretty good here. Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
De nada.
Thank you.
Fitz land drops Smoldering March. Going to combat, he sends the Ravager to me. In second main, he casts Fraying Omnipotence. We lose half of our life, half of our creatures, and half of our cards in hand, rounded up, which is a lot worse. Fitz then pass. On my turn, I cast my commander, Tayam, Luminous Enigma.
Right here, in the swamps of Indata, we can observe the legendary beast Tayam in its natural habitat. What a wonderful creature!
Max land drops a forest, and casts a Oracle of Muldaya. He does not have a land on top of his deck, and pass. Kelly casts Lord of the Accursed. She doesn't keep it for long as she casts Diabolic Intent. She tutors and land drops Cabal Coffers. Fitz casts Neheb, Dreadhorde Champion. He activates Mirage Mirror to become an Oracle of Muldaya. He does not reveal a land off the top of his deck either. He heads into combat, sending the Oracle to Kelly. I land drop a Nesting Ground and cast Ramunap Excavator, which enters with a Vigilance counter. I then tap Oran Reef to put a +1/+1 on the Naga and pass. Max casts his commander, Ezuri, Renegade Leader. Great hero or grand betrayer, the truth of Ezuri's legacy is clouded by the fog of legend. Kelly does the same on her turn, casting Ghoulcaller Gisa.
Oh, wake up, my lovelies! There's work to be done!
Fitz untaps and goes straight to combat. He sends Neheb to Max, who blocks with his Oracle of Muldaya. Before damage, he uses Ezuri to regenerate his creature. Neheb triggers on damage and Fitz discard 1 card, drawing another one and making a red mana. In second main, he casts a Cruel Ultimatum targeting me. Before the spell resolves, I move the +1/+1 to my commander with the Nesting Ground. I then discard my last card in hand, losing 5 and sacrifice the Excavator. On his side, Fitz returns his commander to hand from the graveyard, gains 5 life and draws 3. Then pass. I draw and cast Necro Skidder. I go to combat and chip in by attacking Fitz with Tayam. Max draws for turn and can't seem to reveal a land off the top. He casts Glimpse of Nature, and follow it up with Timberwatch Health, drawing a card.
Reveal Behemoth.
Hey, great behemoth.
Yeah, look at you, buddy. Play that game. Excellent. I will.
For his combat step, Ezuri and the Oracle head to Fitz. On her turn, Kelly casts Reaper from the Abyss and pass. Fitz casts Mastermind Acquisition, tutoring for a card. He then casts a Soul Ring, and heads into combat, sending Neheb to me. The champion triggers on damage, and Fitz discards 2 cards to the effect. In second main, he casts Damnation, before giving me the turn. My turn is pretty quick as I recast my commander and pass. Max casts Imperious Perfect and pass. Kelly casts Erebos, God of the Dead. She then activates him to draw an additional card and pass. Fitz then draws a Scavenger Grounds and casts Consecrated Sphinx. At my upkeep, Fitz turns the mirror into a second Consecrated Sphinx, and at my draw step, he draws 4 cards. I cast the Scavenging Ooze and activate it to exile the Kalitas from Kelly's graveyard, putting a +1/+1 on the Ooze. I instantly can't gain life because of Erebos. At Max's upkeep, the mirror does its thing again, and Fitz draws 4 while Max draws 1. Max recasts his commander and pass. Kelly draws and Fitz only draws 2. She activates Erebos to draw another one and casts a Lash Right. Fitz then drops a command tower. He then casts Hour of Devastation. In reaction, Max regenerates the Imperious Perfect. Fitz then recasts his commander. Entering the battlefield, we each discard a card. We discard Eerie Ultimatum, Crater of Behemoth, and Ingaruk's Wake. Ending into combat, Consecrated Sphinx attack me. At the end of turn, Fitz discards 2 end size.
That's very Nicol Bolas to be like, I'll be generous today, I'll draw only 2.
Yeah.
Max and Fitz draw for turn. Max casts Karometra's Acolyte. Kelly and Fitz draw for turn. She casts Liliana, Dreadhorde General, and -4 Liliana to force everyone to sacrifice 2 creatures. In reaction, Max activates the Imperious Perfect to create a token.
The flavor is so good. Liliana coming back to backstab Bolas. Excellent.
On his turn, Fitz casts another bomb, the Scarab God. He then casts Izzet Signet and follow it up with Arcane Signet. He then activates the Scarab God to eternalize the Consecrated Sphinx. This is fine. Max and Fitz draw for turn, and Max casts Fierce Empath. Entering the battlefield, he gets to search his library for Woodland Bellower. Kelly and Fitz draw for turn. She then +1 Liliana to get a zombie token. She casts Dowsing Dagger, giving 2/0/2 plants to Max on ETB. She equips the dagger on the zombie, and then equips the Lash Right on it as well. At Fitz's upkeep, he gets to scry 1 and his opponents lose 1. He then drops a swamp and casts Nicol Bolas, Planeswalker. He +3 Bolas to destroy Liliana, which is extremely on team. Where's Gideon now? Fitz then eternalizes Crater of Behemoth with the Scarab God. Entering the battlefield, the token grants +3/+3 trample to his board. He heads into combat, sending the zombie Sphinx to Kelly. At the end step, Max creates an elf with the Imperious. They then draw for turn, and Max casts Woodland Bellower. Entering the battlefield, he gets to search his library for Essence Warden, which I now realize should not work because of the Erebos in play, but don't worry, it does not affect the outcome of the game at all. Kelly and Fitz draw for turn. She casts Crypt Gas. Kelly then casts 1000-Year Elixir, and extorts with the Ghast. For a combat step, the very equipped zombie attacks Fitz. Fitz reacts to attackers with Tyrant's Scorn, returning the zombie to hand. She then passes. The Scarab God triggers at the upkeep and Fitz scries 2. He then drops a Cascade Bluffs and casts Nicol Bolas, Dragon God. Having achieved Godlyhood, he +1 the Planeswalker to draw, while Kelly exiles Dowsing Dagger and Max exiles a plant. He goes to combat, attacking Max with the Consecrated Sphinx. In second main, he casts Bolas Citadel. He then taps the Citadel, sacrificing 10 permanents to make his opponent lose 10 life, claiming the victory as the Dragon God. Well played.
Great game.
Oh my god, this is wow, that was insane.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and a big thank you to Fitz for playing with us. We got 3 games that day back to back and it was very fun. Give him a follow on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to see the future episodes and consider becoming a Patreon if you would like us to release even more content. Take care my friend, and we'll see you very soon.